What's going on, guys? Yandere Gogeta here, back with another video. This is a video that I've been wanting to make again for a little while because I did make a video very similar to this about a year or two ago when I first started up this YouTube channel. It was a video talking about my trophies, why I like trophies, and all the games I have gotten trophies in, my favorite games and stuff like that. But that was definitely when I was more amateurish with my video content creation, and don't get me wrong, I'm still pretty amateurish with it when it comes to all, accounts and purposes, but I'm definitely more comfortable with talking to the camera now, and I think I can give more insight and more detailed explanations into why I do certain things and why I love trophy hunting. So before we begin, please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and yeah, let's go into it. Now, before we even get into everything about the trophy list and all that, I think the most important question is to answer, why do I like trophy hunting? And I think the most simple answer I can give is because I get more out of the games, and getting trophies is sort of like a snapshot in time. So whenever I get a trophy in a game, whether I like it or I dislike it, I look back on that exact time, look at the timestamps and what was required for that trophy, and I just go back in time for a moment. There's a lot of games that I have completed, a lot of games that I gave up on, and every one of those experiences that I have had, I remember very vividly. And it's the same reason I collect, oh, wrong way. It's the same reason I collect video games. Every time I buy a video game physically, there's usually a story behind it. So all the Persona 5s I have some sort of story. My Persona 5 Vanilla I got when I went to when I went to Best Buy with my brother one time. Persona 5 Royal Steelbook is when I pre-ordered the game, and I was in quarantine. I remember the exact moment and what I was doing when I got that game. Persona 5 Royal, again, the standard edition, I got when I was looking through Mercari, trying to bargain shop like most people do, and I saw a big ass bundle, cheap, had Persona 5 Royal in it. So I was like, you know what? I really want to get the standard edition of this game, so I'll get it. And I mean, that's pretty much how I like to collect video games, why I like to collect video games, and exactly why I like to get trophies. And as I go through the list, I'll give explanations on how I felt about certain games, how hard they were, would I recommend them, and stuff like that. Wow, that was a pretty long explanation. But I guess with that, we can go right into it. Got the nice Final Fantasy VIII Remastered background here with my profile picture. So starting right from the top, obviously the top is the most recent games, the bottom is the games I've played last. Or not last, but the games I played the furthest to go, or furthest earned a trophy, because technically when you earn a new trophy, right, your list will, adjust, that game will go back to the top of the list. So, starting with number 1 on the trophy list, we have Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Now, this game was very easy. It was kind of fun, but it was also really grindy for the very little time that you put into it. And I think I got the platinum. Total, it took me about 8 to 9 hours, something like that. One day type thing, no problem. You have to do arcade mode with every character, any difficulty, and it just got so repetitive because it's a platform fighter. The only platform fighter I really liked watching was Melee. The only platform fighter I liked playing was Ultimate, just because, casual fun, had all the characters I wanted. But I don't know, I've never really cared for platform fighters like this. It was very charming, but I don't know. I didn't really care for this game too much, but I did finish it, and it was fun going through it. And another fun story about this is that while I was going for this platinum, I was on my electric bike. It's usually in the corner of most of my videos, but you can't see it in this video. I actually got mad at this game, believe it or not. It was, what trophy was it? It was complete an arcade run on the highest difficulty, and this trophy was not hard at all. Super easy, but I was just so mad for whatever reason. I can't remember exactly why I was mad. And I actually gave myself a little boo-boo on my thumb because I punched my controller. Or I didn't even punch it, I just like hammer fisted it. And I got a little boo-boo on my finger, so, or not my finger, but my thumb, so fun story about that. Resident Evil Village, I'm not going to go through this trophy list because obviously spoilers, but I will say, Resident Evil 8, I thought the base game was really fun. The hardest part of this would be the Mercenaries trophy where you have to get S rank on every mission. But since the Winter's expansion, if you buy that, it's so easy because you can just play Chris or one of the bosses and then just bam, just destroy everything. No problem whatsoever. So, I thought the story was fun. It's very reminiscent of Resident Evil 4. As in, like, the way it's structured. There's a factory, the village area, like the main village hub. And granted, Resident Evil 4 was different in the sense that you start in those places and then you like advance and then you don't really go back, right? For the most part, because there's village, castle, island. This game was a little bit different, just a little bit. As in, it was all interconnected into like 3 separate areas and then the main hub that you just stay in for most of the game. I thought it was really fun. Most of the combat was... It's not like Resident Evil 4 where it's melee, it's all shooting. But it was really fun. I thought the merchant being back in the game was very fun. Item management was fun. I just definitely recommend this game. I thought it was a really solid game, really solid story. And then the Winter's expansion DLC, man, that was really fun. Really, well, I'm not going to say it's very easy because you do have to beat the game on hardcore and there is no infinite ammo. But, I don't know, it was a really fun story. It reminded me more of the gameplay from the old Resident Evils where you had to manage your ammo and your health like really well and you sort of had to avoid enemies more. So I really enjoyed that. Final Fantasy VIII Remaster, I can click on this, yeah. Oh, Final Fantasy VIII. As you can see from the trophies, I just recently played this. As of the time I'm recording this, it is 7:09 a.m. on November 3rd, 2022. So I beat this about a weekish ago, or not even a week ago. I mean, I've had my friends recommend me this game for a while, but I never really imagined how much I would actually enjoy going for this. Squall is a really good protagonist. I don't really get what people don't like exactly about the story. I think there are some like flaws I could see, but I feel like most of it was nitpicks. I thought the junction system was fun. Platinum is very doable, not hard, especially if you use the remastered cheats, which gives you like God mode and all sorts of insane buffs, so it's not bad. Definitely recommend this game, 100%. A game from 1999, great story, great combat, pretty fun, just fun in general. I definitely recommend it. Resident Evil 3 Remake. This is an auto platinum that I got from the PS4 version, but I'll talk about it here. You can see I got it all in like the same exact minute. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I did not like this game at all. Like, I thought Resident Evil 3 Remake was a middle of the pack, like 5 out of 10. Like, I did not like it at all. I don't know. I don't think it's like objectively a bad game or anything, but it's just so average, so mediocre to me. It was so short. I don't know. I just didn't like it that much. I'm sorry. But if you want to talk about the Platinum was pretty easy. Unless, when you do the Inferno mode, if you do not have the infinite rocket launcher, that last fight is complete bullshit, dude. That last fight on Inferno made me hate the entire game. Terrible mode, dude. Oh my god, I don't even want to talk about it. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Now, this is a game I genuinely do enjoy. I think Resident Evil 2 Remake, pretty much exactly what a remake should be. Changed some things about the original story and, you know, the A and B scenarios, but it didn't change it in a way that I thought was terrible or bad. Had some new original ideas, fun visuals, or not fun visuals, but great visuals, fun gameplay, like really fun gameplay. The resource management and traversing around the RPD or, you know, wherever you're at, depending on what character you're playing. Very fun. Definitely recommend this. The only trophy I could see giving you issues on this, besides the DLC, which I didn't do, but I know how to do everything. In the main game, the trophy that would give you the most trouble is beating the game on hardcore. But if you just got to be smart, because you can get the infinite pistol from the main game, or infinite weapons in general. Just be safe and you'll be okay. Persona 4 Arena, this platinum is complete and utter bullshit. This is one of the hardest platinums I have ever tried to get, in which sucks because I want to platinum every Persona game, and I've pretty much already have. And in fact, I can pull up the PlayStation or PSN profiles, which, you know, I got the woo. Okay, sorry about the small cut. Had a little technical difficulty there, which is ironic because I made like the whole freaking transition, but it's okay. So if you go to PSN profiles, you can scroll down. You can see this is where we're at. I'll give you a little spoiler there. This is where we're at. 0.39% of players on PSN profiles have reported having the platinum for this game. And believe it or not, even though I do not have the platinum, I was one of the people that wrote the guide for this game. I wrote it alongside one of my friends, Slime. Shout out to Slime. We wrote this guide. Took about a few days or something. Pretty detailed guide if you want to go for it, but the trophies that'll give you a big ass pain in this are the score attack in the combo challenges. And obviously combo challenges in fighting games, you can, you know, envision in your head. Combos are not the easiest thing to do if you're not that good at fighting games, which, you know, completely understandable. But score attack mode, it doesn't matter if you're good at a fighting game. This is just completely obnoxious, because in Persona 4 Arena Vanilla, on score attack, all of the enemies are on boss mode, right? So boss mode, they have, you know, special abilities. They have more health, do more damage. Some of the attacks are unblockable. Some of the attacks kill you in one hit. Most of the attacks kill you in one hit. And you have to beat every single character in a row. And it's just so obnoxious. In a row without losing. If you lose, you have to restart. That was the main issue with this platinum. Or it is the main issue, because I still haven't done it. And if you go back on my channel right now, I'm still in the midst of doing it. I haven't made videos on it because, one, I don't want to anymore, and two, people didn't really seem to want it, which is completely fine. But it's just completely obnoxious. It did not need to be as hard as it is. My biggest pet peeve ever with the trophy, right there. Oh, let me grab some water. Grab my water here. Stay hydrated, everyone. Alright. Lost Judgment. Now, most of you probably subscribed from my Lost Judgment review, which I very much so appreciate. That video is almost at 10,000 views. So, like, genuinely, thank you all so much. That means, like, the world to me. I don't think I need to go much more in detail with this game, but very easy platinum. Or, no, definitely won't say it's very easy, but it's very time consuming, but it's very manageable, okay? If you really like the game, you'll get it done. If you don't, then it'll be a big chore, so, you know, I feel like that's how most platinums are, but yeah, there's a lot of things you have to do in these games to get 100%. Grand Theft Auto 5, not much else can be said about this game. I think GTA 5 is a good game, but it's just been dragged on way too long. This was an auto pop from PS4, so as you can see, it's a small time gap because I had to transfer my online data, but yeah, just transferred all of it. One of the best games, probably one of the games I've put the most time into ever, by far. I've met a lot of my friends on GTA Online, believe it or not. But it's just overdone, man. And I've tried to get to these DLC trophies. I don't know if I'll ever get to them. Like the heist, very manageable. Rockstar Editor, I'm working on that. Doomsday Heist, we'll never do it. Doomsday Heist, it's a silver trophy and complete all 3 Criminal Mastermind challenges in the Doomsday Heist. Now, if you don't know what the Doomsday Heists are, that is when... It's a DLC heist, obviously, but the Criminal Mastermind part of it is you have to beat every heist in a row. So there's 3 or 4, maybe 5, I can't remember exactly how many there are. There's however many heists, and you have to beat all of them with... No, it's not even just you have to beat all of them. You have to beat all of them in a row without dying once, and you have to get all of the elite challenges done. And them shits are hard, man. And then you have to do that with 2 players, then you have to do it with 3, and then you have to do it with 4. Hell no, not doing it. It's not worth it, dude. That should be a platinum trophy in itself. Seriously. Oh, I need some water after that. Now we get into one of my like low-key trophy obsessed things where I will play one game multiple times on different versions or platforms just to get trophies. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. If you're good at fighting games, no problem. The only trophy I could see giving people problems when they're a beginner or just not into fighting games that much are the Golden Arena and the combo challenges, because you have to complete all the combo challenges with one character, but it's a lot more manageable than Persona 4 Arena where you have to do all of them, so it's at least manageable in that sense. But believe it or not, I am actually really good at this game. If you look on my channel, I have a lot of sets and matches with a lot of good players. I went to CEO Taku, I got top 13 out of 16, like top 13 through 16 because there was a tie. I think this is the one game I can say I'm really good at it. I think it's a really good game, and I've met a lot of my best friends I've ever had throughout this game, so I definitely have a lot of sentimental value with Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. 13 Sentinels, I really do enjoy this game. Like, the art style is one of the most beautiful art styles of any game I've ever seen, but I'm just confused on it. Like, I was playing through the story and I was just completely confused on what was going on at any time, because the way 13 Sentinels works is it's 13 protagonists, and it's like 13 Sentinels, and they like fight against some robot, like world destroying thing. I don't know exactly, but it's like a over the head management game where you like manage all the Sentinels and combat in like a city, and you want to keep the city from being as destroyed as you can. But the story, it just wasn't following for me. I just did not understand the story at all, but I do intend to go back and finish it because it was interesting. It's just very confusing. This platinum, one of the like really easy Vita platinums, takes like an hour maybe, but main reason I got this platinum was because of this platinum description. I actually saw this on Mystic's channel, Ryan Benecki, if you know who he is. Shout out to you, Ryan. I love your content, bro. This trophy says, a word of thanks. It has been an awesome decade with our beloved handheld. We are so grateful to have been part of its history. Thank you, PlayStation Vita, and thank you as well, player. Now, as you can see in the back here, I actually have a Vita from Japan. I have a bunch of Vita games. Not too many. I want to work on the Vita collection, but Vita collecting is just bad. Or it's not bad, but it's just expensive. Your money does not go far. I got a nice white Vita over here. You know what? I'll pull it up. Let me take out my headphones really quick. Just got a nice little white Vita here. Got it from Japan, you know. You can get a little sneak peek into my setup here through the screen. But I love the Vita. The Vita is one of my favorite handhelds. So I definitely wanted to get this platinum and just show my respect for the Vita. Again, technical difficulties, man. I'm an amateur. I'm sorry. But Resident Evil 4, one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's like objectively a top 3-5 game of all time. One of the most influential games of all time. Very easy 100%. The fact that this did not get a platinum is completely criminal. And if we pull up PlayStation profiles, I already have it pulled up, thankfully, because, you know, had to fix the technical difficulty anyways. I actually made a Resident Evil 4 guide where I just went through the entire game, showed exactly how to get every trophy, what to do, how to get every treasure in the game, and 2 different ways to play it. So I think, unironically, I probably have the greatest guide, like, no ego. I've probably made the best Resident Evil 4 guide on the internet. Like, seriously, if you want to go check it out, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go check it out. And also, shout out to the PSN Profiles staff and community for voting my guide to be second best gameplay guide on the PSN Profiles for that year. That actually meant a lot to me. I put a lot of time into this guide, but it was just something I did for fun. I wasn't really in it for the money or anything, but oh yeah, I don't know if I just mentioned it, but I did get paid for this guide, so that was pretty interesting to see. Ghost of Tsushima, another PS5 auto pop. I thought Ghost of Tsushima was a beautiful game, like one of the most beautiful games I had ever played up to that point. Story was okay. I thought the story was just okay. I didn't think it was insane, but it had some interesting characters, interesting moments, and I enjoyed it for what it was. And the open world exploring was really fun. The way you used like your map instead of like having a waypoint, the wind guided you, was really cool. I really enjoyed that. DLC, I don't know if I'll ever get to the Legends or anything. I'm not really that crazy about it. The Iki Island I will probably get to at some point though. Here's another game that I've auto-popped. Or not auto-popped. This is not an auto-pop. This is a game that I doubled up on Stack. So as you can see, this is the Korean version of Persona 4 Golden. And since we're here, I can just talk about Persona 4 Golden. I think Persona 4 Golden is one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. Very massive time commitment, and you have to be very, like, perfect on your playthrough to get the platinum in, like, as few playthroughs as you can. Because if you mess up, easily get, like, another playthrough, which is another, like, 20 hours or something. So, stressful platinum, especially doing it in a language you didn't understand. But besides the time commitment, and obviously needing to be perfect, the trophy that will give you the most trouble is, this is the biggest resave fan or something like that, I think it's called. This is for hearing 250 navigator lines, and the navigator lines are pretty much, resay is just helping you throughout the battle. It's just telling you what the enemy's weaknesses are and, you know, the status of the party and stuff like that. There's only like 300 something lines in the game, so you have to do a very weird playthrough where you under level yourself massively until you get every party member, and then put the difficulty on like specific things where you take the least amount of damage, you deal the least amount of damage, and you level up the slowest. It was bizarre going for this or for this trophy in particular, but it was interesting. Kena, this is a game I regret not getting to because, man, Kena is just a fun looking game. I need to get back to it. I don't have much to say about it. It looks like an easy platinum. It looks like a really good game, but I just started it on my birthday and never got back to it. And speaking of that, I actually do have a fun story to tell about these two games in particular, Sackboy and Kena. The day I played these games and got trophies in them, since they're right next to each other. Can I click on this? Okay, yeah, sure. If you click on this, you can see the date I earned this was December 5th, 2021. That is my birthday, and I made it a personal mission. I turned 18 that year. Made it a personal mission for me to run 18 miles that day. So I went to the gym, ate a ton before, drank a bunch of coffee, which I know, caffeine bad, whatever. But I did end up finishing that 18-mile run, did it in about 3 hours. I'll put up a picture of it for a statistic. And that was one of the most proud moments of my life. So every time I go back and look at this trophy, I'll remember after I finished that run, I came home, played Kena and Sackboy with my brother, and felt immensely relieved. Did not go to school the next day, could not walk. Worth it. This is Korean Persona 5. I have it on my list just when I want to get to it, but I haven't started it, so I'm just going to pass it for now. Devil May Cry 5. The first time I played this game was on the special edition. And, man, this game is fucking awesome. Like, the combat is sick, music is sick, graphics are sick, everything's sick about it. But the platinum is brutal because I suck. Well, I don't suck, but I'm below, or I'm probably just average at Devil May Cry. It's hard, man, because you have to beat the game on like the hardest difficulties. Hardest difficulties are like you get hit once and you die, and the bosses have like 8 times health, and you're just doing like no damage whatsoever. Unforgiving, brutal, and then you have to beat Bloody Palace, which is like a 100 stage gauntlet that takes hours on end, and if you die, you have to restart, and you have to do that with every character. Like, no, man, I don't have the tenacity, but I did give it a genuine shot. 38 out of 55 trophies, completely fine with, you know, leaving it where it's at. Persona 4 Golden, I already talked about this. Just to give a little more insight, I think Persona 4 Golden has some really fantastic characters. It's crazy how much they're milking these games, and Persona 2 and 1 just don't get anything, but hey, it is what it is, I guess. Doki Doki Literature Club. I made a video on this as well, how Doki Doki Literature Club changed my life, and then the thumbnail was how it taught me to live. I wasn't lying, really. As you can see, I went for this platinum 7 times. I platinumed it on every region. I was first on one of them, second on 3 of them, I think, something like that. But fun fact, the trophies were glitched at first, so had to just wait like a week or so to get it, which kind of made me sad, but it's whatever. If you have not played DDLC though, I recommend playing it. It's definitely a different type of visual novel, I will say, but in a good way. Fun characters, fun like art, good music, so recommend it. Judgment, I made a review on this as well. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Lost Judgment, I gave a 10 out of 10. This one I gave a 9 out of 10. I think it's debatable which game has a better story and, you know, whatever. But I think Lost Judgment's just a way better game in general, with like the combat, this like side content, just way more solid of a game in general than the First Judgment. But I think the First Judgment is still one of the like best games I've ever played. Low key, probably like a top 10. Fantastic characters, music, like graphics, you know, this usual stuff, you know what I mean? Saints Row 4 re-elected. I can't remember the story of why I started this game again, but I remember playing this on my Xbox 360 when I was like an Xbox kid. Got very close, achievement glitched on me, quit. So I was like, all right, I'll give this game another go on PS4. And super easy platinum, took me like 20 hours. All these 100% like Enter the Dominatrix and How the Saints Saved Christmas were easy 100%. Enter the Dominatrix was terrible, hated that DLC, but I did it anyways because it was fun to just play it and watch like a podcast or something. How the Saints Saved Christmas was a genuinely fun DLC. I did enjoy that though. I've always been a Saints Row 2 kid. I think Saints Row 2 is the best open world free world game ever made. I think it's better than GTA. Saints Row 3 and 4, I'm not going to say they're bad games, but they're definitely not the same. I do recommend, if you want to just kind of chill, play like a more immature game, turn your brain off, play with superpowers, just have fun, right? A fun game. Saints Row 4 and 3, I would recommend. More DDLC. Sakura Succubus. Okay, now we're getting into a interesting point of my trophy hunting career where I was doing like so many easy games, take like literally 45 seconds for a platinum. Obviously I don't remember anything about this game, Sakura Succubus. That's the only thing I remember about it, its name. I remember this having some lewd art, as you can see from the trophy icons. All of them were golds. Interesting that I did all this, and you know, people think like, John, you have like 118 platinums, you must be like really good at games. And it's like, I'm okay at games. I would say I'm pretty above average. Like, I'm a good gamer, but a lot of my platinums are really easy. Like, anyone can get 100 platinums, I promise you. Like, what separates like the just number platinum, like the platinum number. I got 118 platinums. Lovely. A lot of these platinums are super easy, and I did it with the sole intent of making DDLC my 100th platinum. So as we go down the list, you'll see a lot of games like these Japanese games for the Vita and PS4 and stuff like that. I didn't really play those like to play them for the story or anything. I don't even remember what these games' names are, but I just remember playing them for a sole intent of having a goal. So even these games I don't have any remembrance of at all have some sort of value to me. Maneater. This was a game I got for free on PlayStation Plus. I thought it was fun, if not repetitive, because most of the game is just you pressing R2, getting collectibles and stuff like that, but it was fun. Seeing your shark get stronger and killing a shit ton of humans and getting your infamy level up and finding all these Easter eggs and stuff. It was fun, I will say. I do actually recommend this game. Have not done the Truth Quest DLC. I don't know if I ever will, but hey, is what it is. The platinum means more to me than the 100%. Subnautica, I actually, unfortunately, have not actually played this game. As you can see, I got the platinum in less than like an hour. There's a glitch that you can do to use debug cheats and get the platinum, so that's what I did. So I should give this a genuine shot. I apologize to anyone who likes Subnautica, but I genuinely did not play this game. I low-key cheated. Saints Row the Third Remastered, talked about it a little bit with the Saints Row 4. Just not the same as Saints Row 2, but it can be enjoyed on its own. DLC, it does have some DLC. These DLCs are fun, though. I do genuinely enjoy these DLCs. Fun fact, the trouble with Clones was supposed to have like a sequel DLC to it, and then Volition was about to go under, so they made the DLC into the full game. So the DLC that was supposed to be for the Saints Row the Third Remaster, or not for the remaster, but for the game, it was supposed to be DLC, but they made it into a full game. God. Long story short, right? Persona 5 Strikers, Korean version. I'll just talk about it here. Sorry for anyone that understands Korean, but apologies. But Persona 5 Strikers, I think the gameplay really mediocre, really just boring, but I will say the music banging, story pretty good. I did enjoy the story pretty well. It introduced 2 new characters to the main cast. It's in Kishi and Sophia. 2 characters I genuinely do enjoy. I did not like the antagonist of the game. I thought they treaded the same ground as the other Persona games, and it was just not original, but I did think it was a fun game regardless. Not a bad game, just mediocre ending and mediocre gameplay. But if you like Persona 5, you'll enjoy the game. Resident Evil 5, I have the PS4 version's platinum, but have not quite gotten around to doing the PS3 version. I was actually doing the PS3 version on stream with my brother Marlis. He used to make videos, but he's kind of like walked away from it at this point. I don't know, after playing the PS4 version and stuff, the PS3 version is just slow, janky, and I've overplayed this game. I've probably 100% in this game multiple times. And then if I want to go back and do it, I would have to do all these DLC trophies. All the way down here. All of these are like DLC trophies. I don't know if I'll ever get back to it. If anybody in the comment section watching this video, though, if y'all want to do Resident Evil 5, PS3 co-op, hey, hit me up. I'll do it. I'm down. Play with a viewer, or however you want to like discern yourself. Hold up. Quick water break. Anyways, getting back to it. This game is a Japanese exclusive game called Hajime no Ippo the Fighting, or as it's translated in the West, I guess, the Fighting Spirit or something like that. Fighting Spirit. Platinum was actually pretty easy, but I just didn't get around to doing it. As far as the like anime or like the manga series, Hajime no Ippo, probably my favorite piece of fiction of all time. Great music, great characters, great humor, great animation, great drawings if you read the manga. I mean, what else can you really say about a manga or, anime series? Just perfect to me. Perfect series to me. I recommend playing. I don't know if I would recommend playing this game, but I would recommend trying the series out, like watching the manga or reading the manga. Resident Evil 4 again. This is another game, like all these games right here are just games I played for trophies straight up. This game literally takes like, I think it's like 5 button presses. It's like, you turn on auto skip, make it go as fast as it can, skip everything, platinum in like 30 seconds. It's actually insane. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Probably a top 5, top 7-ish game for me of all time. My last video I made, Metal Gear Rising, or not Metal Gear Rising, but Metal Gear Solid's Raiden analysis appreciation. You can go watch that if you want. Raiden is my favorite protagonist of all time, probably. And this game just added more lore to his character and really fun gameplay. Some of the best music in any video game ever, so definitely recommend this game 100%. Now, as far as the trophies go, this is one of the only trophies I have left besides a couple of collectible stuff. It says, complete story mode on Revengeance difficulty with all S rankings. Now, this wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for one fact, and that is, on Metal Gear Rising, there's a bunch of optional battles that, if you don't go out of your way specifically to either watch a video guide or walk around just mindlessly trying to find any battle you can, you're going to miss a battle. And if you miss one battle throughout the chapter, you get an A rank. Even if you got S rank on everything else, you got an A rank. And it's not like, hey, I can just go in, do that battle I missed. Not how it works. You have to do the whole chapter again, S rank, and it's hard. It is genuinely difficult, but I will eventually get this done. I promise you that. Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Got all the DLC stuff done. Or not DLC, online stuff done. I did this on PS Now before they rebranded PS Now to PS Plus Premium or something. This is a really easy fighting game platinum. You don't have to be good at fighting games at all. Just do like the tutorial. Do a bunch of miscellaneous things. Really easy. Tekken's one of those games where I'm not really good at it, but I'm decent at it. Same thing here. Kind of cheated it. I'm sorry, guys. Fall Guys. Now, fun story about this is I was in like a weird, or not weird, but I was in a trophy boosting session where we would get like 20, 30, 40 people into one call, all search on like Oceania servers, randomly trying to boost this one damn trophy. And I did end up getting it. If you come here, you can see I did get it. Win 5 episodes in a row. I did do it. But here's my biggest regret with this game. Completely out of nowhere, Epic Games or someone bought out the game, or the company that made it or something. So they completely made a different launcher and trophy list and regions and stuff like that for the game. So I have the hardest trophy in the game, right? The rarest one, but all of these other trophies I can no longer get because they turned off the servers for the game on this version. So I'm just stuck with one of the rarest trophies in the game, but I can't finish all these easy ass trophies because I just generally didn't like the game. So that's whatever to me. You know, I think it's a big monument that I was able to get the platinum, or not the platinum, the hardest trophy in the game, and then I just said whatever. Final Fantasy 15, I can see why people hate this game because shit's just confusing. Plus, you got all this DLC you gotta play to make the game make any sense because there's a lot of parts in the game where, for example, Gladiolus, he'll just randomly say like, "Hey, Noctis, I got stuff to do. I'm leaving. I'll see you later," and you can't say anything about it. And you have to play the DLC to figure out why he did that. I think that's silly, in my opinion. And then the same thing with Prompto, same thing with Ignis, and then Arden's probably a little different just because of the context of that game, but it's just ridiculous how much DLC there was. And then there was like mangas, and there was movies, and I think there was an anime or something that you had to watch to get the full story. It was in development hell for years, so it's a mess. It is a filthy, absolute mess. But I did enjoy the game, I must say. Got it for free on the PS Plus collection, so can't complain. Platinum's super easy, takes about 40-50 hours. Very manageable, no missable trophies. The hardest trophy is when you have to boost near the end, where you have to get Gladiolus's adventurer level or something up. Sorry for drinking so much water, guys. Talking a lot. BlazBlue Cross Tag. I genuinely do not like this game. I think it is a bad find. Well, I'm gonna tread safely and not say it's bad, but it's genuinely boring. Like, shout out Kinto, by the way. It's just boring. Like, it took Narukami and the characters I like and just dumbed them down. Game is just, I don't know, man. I just don't like it, but Platinum took me like 4 hours. Super easy Platinum if you care about that. Trivial Pursuit. I think if you go to PSN profiles, you know what, we can check actually. We're gonna check that. Let's go look. If we pull up PSN profiles here, go back to the profile. I'm pretty sure this is the 100% that took me the absolute longest. I'm gonna tread safely. Yeah, 3 years, 7 months. 3.39% have the 100%. I don't know why it's so rare. This 100% is really easy. The main reason it took me so long is because I had played this at a point where I was not trying to platinum games on this account because this was not my main account forever. I had an account called Homie G Virus, and then I slowly transferred to this account. So, the main trophy that would be hard is this one where you have to answer every question in the game correctly, or in a game correctly, not in the entire game correctly. Not hard at all, just look up the answers, pause the game, look up the answers, and you'll be okay. But it just took me so long because it was just a game that I wasn't really planning on finishing. But it is a fun game. Just get a bunch of friends over, chill with it. You'll get some trophies naturally. Concrete Genie. This game is actually really fun because it's a game where it definitely breaks the mold. It's very unique. It embraces creativity a lot and uniqueness. To not go too in detail, it's pretty much a story about a kid who was getting bullied, and then he has like a magical power to like anything he paints on like walls or anything like that comes to life, and you use those creatures you create to either just make like paintings on the wall cosmetically or advance in the game, like having a creature unlock a door for you. Very unique. I actually really like this game. Easy platinum. I don't think any trophies are missable, so I highly recommend this game. Persona 5 Royal. One of my favorite JRPGs of all time. You can argue that Persona 5 Vanilla was a better like conclusion to the story, but Everything they added to Persona 5 Royal I did enjoy. Kasumi's edition, Maruki's edition, two very fantastic characters that I enjoy. Added a genuine confidant for Akechi. New like confidant options at the end to add more character. Gameplay elements, just generally revamped a lot of elements of the game that made it more enjoyable. Really good game. There's some parts of the game that I genuinely hate, like genuinely. If they just were removed from the game, I would not care at all. But even with that, I genuinely think it's a game that people should play. Give it a chance. I think it's a good entry-level JRPG. Easy platinum. Pretty much just play the game once and do a few miscellaneous things. You don't even have to do everything, just miscellaneous things. Oh boy. And here we go again, but as usual, I'll skip past all the games that I've platinum multiple times and just talk about one version. Persona 4 Dancing is one of the, or not one of the only, it is the only game. Oh shit, I'm showing spoilers, sorry. It's the only game of the Persona Dancing games that has an actual story. It's like a light visual novel game where you have dancing in between the story elements. And it's an okay story. I think it's an enjoyable story. The characters that were added, Kanamine, and what was it called? It was like Kitchen something, and all the characters were like dressed up as animals, which was kind of weird, but it was kind of funny. I think it's for a visual novel dancing game, it's a decent story. I do like it. I think Persona 4 Dancing probably has the best remixes out of all of the dancing games, which you could debate. Obviously, music is subjective, but I really did enjoy Persona 4 Dancing's. Why am I going blank? The remixes. Oh my god. And also, it's as a dancing game, it's a rhythm game. The rhythm game is pretty fun. Resident Evil 6, what can I say about this game? Resident Evil 6, I think, is generally overhated. And I think it's hated for right reasons, but it's hated on those reasons way too harshly, because what comes down to a game being good for me is it fun, right? Resident Evil 6 is fun to me. There's parts of the game that are not fun, aka Ada's entire campaign, terrible, but Leon's campaign was generally fun. Chris's campaign was fun. Jake's campaign was fun. So I didn't think it was a bad story either. I thought the story was okay. I think it was generally people were not thrilled with the way... I don't know exactly what people didn't like about the game. It was a bunch of things. There's definitely flaws in this game for sure, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't look too deep into it. Persona 5 Dancing, in my opinion, had the worst remixes of all the games. I generally do not like any of the songs in this game besides bar like 2 or 3. Gameplay's the same, but I will say the difference between Persona 4 Dancing and Persona 5 and Persona 3 Dancing is that they have social links that you actually like interact with the main cast and the Velvet Room attendants. That was fun. I did like that. That added a lot more to the characters, like a bunch of interactions with characters that generally didn't happen as much in the main game. And you got to like visit people's rooms and get costumes and stuff like that. It was fun. I liked it. Persona 3 Dancing, same general idea as Persona 5 Dancing, except with the Persona 3 cast. Fun game, really good remixes, generally enjoyed it. Very easy platinums. All of these are super easy platinums. It's pretty much just play the game a lot. That's it. Just like 8, maybe 15 hours if you're really bad at rhythm games. Alright, Bugsnax. Genuinely, one of my favorite games I've played on PS5 so far. As funny as that is to say, Bugsnax was just so fun. It had so much charm to it. It was so cute. Like, all the damn Bugsnax were so adorable. Like, these mushrooms, these strawberries, or I don't remember if there's mushrooms. There's so many things. There's like tacos, sundaes, ice, like literal ice cubes, snow cones, Mountain Dew, like so many different things. You fill out the entire like thing like it's a damn Pokédex or something. Awesome game. Actually, a really interesting story. Had a completely weird twist that I was not expecting, but awesome. Definitely recommend it. Trophy is super easy, pretty much no missable trophies. Recommend it. Demon Souls, most beautiful game on PS5 I've played so far, probably. I don't generally like Souls games. It's not that I think they're bad or anything, it's just I've never really been that into the concept of it. I don't really care for the combat that much in Demon Souls, or not just Demon Souls, but the Souls games in general. Granted, this is the only game I've played start to finish, and as you can see, I did go for the 100%. Shout out Ben, Platinum Chasers. I definitely would not have gotten this platinum without those guides you made, so definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I would recommend the game, but if you do play Demon Souls, and you play it blind without like a guide or anything, this platinum was pretty tricky because there's a lot of things you have to do in the game as far as like managing the world. There's like world darkness and lightness, and you have to manage those like very specifically, and if you don't, then you're gonna add like multiple playthroughs on top of what you're already doing. It's stressful to think about, but you can get it done. If I can get it done, you can get it done. Fibbage, this is a game that, like Trivial Pursuit, I just started on my main account just to play it. I mean, I do like Fibbage. I've had a lot of fun times on it, but I don't know. It was very lacking in questions, so much so that they literally made a trophy for playing every question in the game. And I did get this on another account. I just didn't get it on this one. But if you bring a lot of friends over, it's just like any other Jackbox game. Just bring a bunch of friends over, have fun with it. It can't go wrong. Persona 5, pretty much the same things I've said about Persona 5 Royal, but to add on to it, just a little bit, I guess, just like Persona 4, I really enjoyed the cast. You can have flaws, or talk about the flaws they have or whatever, but generally, I just enjoyed it. The Platinum, though, on the other hand, in comparison to Persona 5 Royal, way harder. I don't think it's as hard as Persona 4 Golden's 100% or anything, but it's definitely more tricky because you have to read all the books, max all the social links, like, pretty much just do everything in the game almost. Like, obviously a lot more demanding than Persona 5 Royal, where it was a lot more lax, just try all the new things we added, things like that. Road Bustle, terrible game, just did this for trophies, that's it. And here we are. At this point, this is when I was going crazy on the platinums because, like I said, I was wanting to get to 100 platinums, and I don't even remember if DDLC was announced at this point, but I remember thinking in my head very vividly, I was like, I want to get to 100 platinums, and then after that, I'm just playing games I want to play. Never going to play an easy, cheap, terrible game ever again. Now, granted, these games aren't like cheap and terrible. These are just easy visual novel platinums, but obviously I don't understand Japanese, so I just played it for the trophies. If you want a reason as to why the visual novels are so easy, it's because it's the nature of a visual novel, right? Pretty much make choices, and that's it. There's some games that take longer than others because obviously some games have more outcomes and choices than other games, but generally you use a guide, no problem. Yakuza 3, this game genuinely took me off of the franchise completely. I hated this game. I thought the only good part about it was the orphanage stuff that Kiryu was going on. Other than that, story was mediocre. Did not care about the antagonist much at all. Music was okay. I thought the music was okay. 100% was boring. The combat was some of the worst combat I've ever played in a video game ever. Generally, I think this is like the only Yakuza game I could say is bad, and it made me not continue the series. I still have not played 4, 5, 6, or 7 up to this point. More visual novels. Minecraft PlayStation 4 Edition, full 100%, all 127 trophies. Lots of DLC, but Minecraft, not much can be said about it. Got a shit ton of memories on Minecraft. Playing it all the way back on 360 on a terrible laptop that ran at like 5 FPS. Meeting a bunch of people that I don't even remember the name of. Just having fun. Not a care in the world. Playing it with a bunch of elementary school friends. Great time. My name is Mayo, while an easy platinum. I genuinely do enjoy the My Name is Mayo games. Just very easy 45-minute palate cleansers. Press the triangle button a bunch. See a bunch of funny things that this Mayo does and funny incremental stories. I honestly would recommend My Name is Mayo as just to play it. Even if you don't care about trophies, just play it. It's fun. Genuinely. Yakuza 0. I think so far I would say this is my favorite Yakuza game. Majima was an incredible character. Kiryu was an incredible character. A bunch of great antagonists. Great story development. Great side characters. Great progression in the combat. Combat was probably the best in the series so far. Or up to that point, the best series. Best in the series to that point. Sorry. It's the same kind of thing with all the Yakuza games where you have to 100% it, beat it on the hardest difficulty, and then at that point you would probably have the trophy already. But there are a few missable trophies you have to do throughout the game. I do want to go back and platinum this game, but man, it's a big ass task. Mortal Kombat 11, one of my least favorite fighting games of all time. Really boring, really stiff. The gore was it's whatever at this point. I don't really care about the gore in Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's story at this point is pretty mediocre. My favorite stories in Mortal Kombat are generally like Deception, Armageddon, Shaolin Monks, games that were like genuine, like large RPGs. I get that it would be harder to make a conquest mode in the modern gaming landscape because games just take way longer to develop, but let's get another conquest, man. Seriously, take like the concept of the crypt in this game where you explore, do a bunch of shit to like advance and unlock treasures. Just take that concept and make it into a full-blown conquest mode, or give us like a Shaolin Monks 2 or a Deception 2 or something, man. Just something. Marvel Spider-Man Remastered. I love this game. I was one of the first people on PS5 to 100% the game. I did it before the PS4 to PS5 trophy syncing or save syncing was a thing. Just a fun game. Explore the world, do everything in it, not overbearing, just fun. If you like Spider-Man, which most people do, you'll enjoy the game. And the DLC added to the story. I think the game has a very genuinely fun story to go through. So I 100% recommend this game for every trophy hunter, every video game player ever. Just play it. It's on PC, you got no excuses. Astro's Playroom, unironically, and I'm genuinely not kidding when I say this is my favorite PS5 game so far. It's basically a love letter to PlayStation history. Everything about this game had me smiling ear to ear for the 6 hours or whatever it took me to platinum it in total. Cute, adorable game. Graphics are fun. Shit ton of Easter eggs. All the PlayStation hardware. Speedrun DLC trophies that weren't hard. It was just fun. Just genuinely, like, I don't know how to explain my love for this game. Honestly, it's like, I feel like a madman when I talk about this because most people didn't even play it when they got their PS5. It's like, oh, I'm going to play this for like 2 seconds and never play it again. It's like, bro, I genuinely love PlayStation and hardware and its history. So this game was like me in a candy, or like a kid in a candy store for me. Like, I love this game. 6 hour platinum, easy, no missable trophies. Please, for the love of God, play it if you have a PS5. Please, even if you don't like trophies, you don't have to go for the platinum. Just play the game. Seriously, it is fun. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. I think Miles Morales' combat was more fun than Peter's. It was a shorter, like, it was not like a DLC length. It was about a 8 to 10 hour platinum or something for a full 50. It was $50 or $60 launch price, so that dampened the blow of how short it was, but it was fun. I do recommend it. In the same vein as like the remaster, I recommend Miles Morales. Fallout 76. For those who do not know, I actually am from West Virginia. You might be able to tell that I'm from the South just from my accent, my Southern accent. I gave this game a genuine shot. As you can see, if you go and look, I played this game a like decent amount. Like, I got to level 100, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I did not enjoy this game like that. I couldn't do it. I don't know. I'll never go back to this game, probably. The platinum, honestly, the platinum's not that hard, but for the reasons I just talked about, excuse me, the reasons I just talked about, I don't think I'll ever go back to it. Detroit Become Human. I love this game. Honestly, I've been reimmersing myself in it. No, not reimmersing. What's the word I'm looking for? I've been exposing myself to the game more recently after some time. And I just think about it. I'm like, man, this game has so many endings, so many outcomes, and your outcome and like decision making genuinely matters for what ending of the game you get. And the main thing that turned me off from this platinum, which you can see I really did go for it, 77%, was you had to do multiple playthroughs, which I didn't mind the concept of it. I just kind of got burnt out on the game at the time, so I will probably go back to it and finish it at some point. But this is a game where it's like, I do genuinely recommend it because it has a relevant story, relevant issues, and really good characters. Like, I don't know, really fun game. Just genuinely recommend it. Dragon Ball Fighters. I'm not really good at 3v3 fighters. I'm more like 1v1 type deal, but I did go for this platinum. The hardest trophy was for, I can click on this, there's no spoilers or anything. It's all like basic fighting game stuff. Just do our shitty ass story mode that we put no effort into pretty much, and then just do a bunch of like miscellaneous things throughout the game. The hardest trophy for me personally though was this one, where you have to acquire 20 million zenny, and the grinding method for this was like, oh my god, dude, it was like mind-numbingly long. I did this without the glitch where you could get millions of zenny and then just be done in like an hour or so. I genuinely grinded the story mode over and over and over again. And then I did the Tournament of Power once they added that, which made it a little bit quicker, but it was still mind-numbingly slow because you got about, I think it was about 15,000 you got for each story battle. And then you got, I think it was like 50,000 for completing the Tournament of Power. It was just bullshit. Like 20 million and you get like 15,000 each. Like, it would take you like dozens and dozens of hours, and I did it somehow. Some miracle I finished it. Bunch of games, as I said. Conan Exiles. I didn't play this game. Cheated it. There was a weird thing where you could just use debug cheats and get the platinum, so I did it. Yep. I need to go back and do the Vita version of Minecraft. I don't know why I haven't. Here we go. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered. I am very sad that we did not get a Modern Warfare 2 like just remaster with like the multiplayer, Spec Ops, all that, but I guess I now see why, because they did the reboot for it, so whatever. Modern Warfare 2 is one of my favorite Call of Duty stories. Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2 are my favorite Call of Duty, or not, yeah, my favorite Call of Duty stories. This platinum was really easy, or no, it wasn't really easy, but it was pretty much collect all intel, beat it on veteran, and then a couple of miscellaneous things that you can get. The hardest trophy besides all that, like obvious stuff where it's like complete the game without, you know, what was it? It was complete the game without dying or reloading. That's really easy because you can just put it on recruit and just blitz through it. It's not as bad as it sounds. But the main trophy that would give you problems is this one where beat BX time and SSD. This is the pit. It was like you had to beat it in less than 18 seconds, so you had to get like collaterals and just be really fast, but it wasn't too bad. Metal Gear Solid 5, this is a game where I played it on the Homie G Virus account, and for some damn reason I started it on this account. I don't know why I did it, but I don't know if I'll ever get it, because this is like a 200-hour platinum, man. I don't like this game that much to go through it like that again. I don't know. Maybe one day, but I don't know. Aside from that, I think the game is fun, and I think it's a good game. The story was like half finished because Kojima and Konami were just like, no, we're not. Or Kojima was trying to finish it. Konami said, look, we've given you all this time. We're releasing the game whether you want it done or not. So, who's in the right or wrong? I'm not here to debate that, but it was a fun game nonetheless. Horizon Zero Dawn. I gotta be one of the only people that genuinely just don't like this game. I think it's not that interesting to me. The story wasn't that interesting. The gameplay wasn't that interesting to me. I will say the game was beautiful. It was a very, very beautiful game. Just didn't care about the combat or the story, so I couldn't get that into it. I'm sorry, guys. I've heard it's a really good game and a really easy platinum, but I'm sorry. This also had DLC. Resident Evil 0? Believe it or not, Resident Evil 0 is actually one of my favorite Resident Evil games. And most people would be like, oh my god, Jan, you're a fucking idiot. How the hell could Resident Evil 0 be your favorite Resident Evil game? And to that I say, you know what? I get where you're coming from, but I just like it. I don't know. It was a fun game. I liked Rebecca. I thought Billy was cool. I thought the gameplay was fun. I don't know. I just enjoyed it. Platinum's not too hard, but at some point I was just like, I'm not doing it. Because with OG Resident Evils, right, they got trophies like this where it's like, you finish the game without saving. And it's not like that hard, but the problem is there's a lot of places where you could easily fuck up and die. And if you die in this game, you go back to the main menu where you're supposed to load a save. You don't save, you restart the game. So, and everything else is doable. I can do all of this fairly simply. I just didn't get around to doing all of it. Resident Evil Remake. I mean, I like it, but I have the exact same feelings with Zero as I do the remake, pretty much. So, I don't know. I don't really have much more to say about it. Platinum's doable. I just never got to it. I didn't really care to do it, I guess. Mortal Kombat X. Mortal Kombat X was one of the only other fighting games besides Persona that I'm genuinely good at. I put 1,000 or so hours into this game. I played a bunch of pro players. There's actually a clip of me that I posted on my YouTube that's private. I'll put it up on the screen maybe. But it was a clip of me getting brutality by Sonic Fox on stream. So that was fun. This was a very, like, I love this game. This is a fun ass game. Platinum's complete bullshit though. There's 2 trophies in particular that make me mad. It's this complete 50 living towers. The living towers are timed, limited things. You have to hope that you get towers you have not gotten before. Just I don't know. I didn't care for that. No loyalty. You have to get level 50 in all the factions. There's 5 factions. It doesn't give you an indication on which factions you've done. So if you forget which one you've joined and done somehow, you gotta just hope to God that you remember. So cool, I guess. And then reach level 65. That takes a shit ton of grinding. It's all just really, really grindy. And in this, most people ain't getting this. Reach a 10 game win streak on ranked. Most people ain't doing that. The Sims 4, I genuinely did go for this, like, without cheats or anything. So I was going through, playing the game, getting all these levels and all these skills fully maxed out. And then I realized this would take forever. So I just quit, and then I came back on the PSN profiles after a while, saw there was a method to straight up just get all the achievements. You could just download someone's save off the EA thing, and then bam, your trophies would just pop. Got to platinum in like a day. Danganronpa 2, it's like the same trophy list as Danganronpa 1, but I'm not doing it. I don't know. It's not a fun trophy list at all, but I think it's a pretty good game. Pretty good story. I genuinely enjoyed the characters. Good plot twist. Good, fun detective-like aspects to it. Very mind-breaky. Like, I don't know if that's the right term, but mind-breaky, I guess. Pretty good game, though. I did enjoy my time with it. I just got to a point where... excuse me. I got to a point where I was thinking about going for the platinum. I was like, you know what? I'm cool with just beating the game and moving on. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, I do think it's a fun game. I don't know if I would say it's a good game. Like, I would say it's an okay game. It's not bad. It plays it pretty safe. It has some genuine flaws, though. Like, the leveling system in that game is mediocre at best. The DLC is terrible. Like, I haven't played any of the recent DLC, but that Beerus DLC where you got the God form was awful, man. That was one of the laziest DLCs of all freaking time. But if you're a big Dragon Ball fan, then I think if you can get the game pretty cheap, like $10, $15, maybe $20, it's worth going through just to experience the Dragon Ball Z story in a different, like, telling and in a game again. Oh, easy platinum. No missable trophies. Super easy. Just collect a bunch of stuff, do a few miscellaneous things, beat the game. This is a free-to-play game I played with my friend. I'm never, ever getting this. Win 10,000 battles. No, not doing it. The Yakuza games, I do like. It's the exact same thing as like Yakuza 0, just 100% the game, beat it on Legend. I like Kiwami. Well, I'm conflicted on the Kiwami games. I think they're fun. I think they're pretty good, but they genuinely have some flaws. Yeah, that's all I can really say. Modern Warfare, easy platinum, easy trophies in general, fun game, good story, palate cleanser Call of Duty game. I just didn't get the platinum because my brother had, for reasons I don't really want to get into, lost the game. So, yeah, I couldn't really finish that, but I will finish it at some point. God of War, I love the story of this game. Beautiful game, beautiful graphics, beautiful music, great story, great characters, great everything pretty much. But the one thing I do not like is after you beat the game, the open world is a straight ass chore, dude. I hate exploring the open world in this game after you beat it, because in the main game, as you're progressing through the story, there's a lot of scripted events where it'll take you through these events where you get from point A to B and then the story continues. After you beat the game and you want to go back through these like areas and make it through these areas you've been through, you got to go through these like portals because you obviously can't go through the scripted event again. So it's just a chore to go through. And then there's a bunch of collectibles, and then there's a bunch of like there's Valkyries that are a pretty big challenge, but that's not really a problem for me because a genuine challenge is no problem, but it's just a slop fest to get through. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the open world, so I left it where it was, so I didn't hate the game. Destiny 2, don't like these MMO type FPSs. I think they're just lazy. I don't know. I just didn't like it. Looter shooters ain't my thing. Battle War 3, I played this with every intent and purpose of getting the platinum, just never got around to it. Great game, never got to it. Danganronpa, same kind of story with Danganronpa 2, except I actually did manage to go through and finish the platinum. The main problem with the Danganronpa platinum is that there's a bunch of damn there's a bunch of grindy shit you have to do. I just genuinely hated it. Like, there's this school mode thing you have to do, super grindy, and you have to get like the students' underwear, which is really awkward to me. Like, why am I getting high schoolers in like underwear? Like, I don't know. That was really weird to me, but I did finish it. So, hey, what can I do? This game I got for free on PS Now or PS Plus or something. This game, really weird. I didn't like it at all. It's like, not even like a game. It's like a dev test game thing. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a test combat simulator thing where you go through these like stages. The stages get harder. You beat the enemies, and then you do like a boss, and then it just ends. Like, it's so bizarre to me. Skyscrapers. I'm not gonna lie, I can't really remember anything about this game. It's like a platform fighter type thing, but that's about where the extent of my knowledge goes. Alright, I'm gonna speed up a little bit. This video is going on forever. Okay, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Don't really care for this game at all. I just played it on my main account because I wanted to play with friends, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna play it on my main account. Not that bad of a platinum, just didn't want to do it. San Andreas, one of the best open world games of all time. Great story, great gameplay, one of the best maps ever, maybe. Just didn't finish it. Great soundtrack and the radios and stuff like that, loved it. A lot of side content too. Bunch of easy stuff. Okay, yeah, here's where I went insane on it. And I remember this exact time I had just gotten my Vita, I think, and I was like really exploring how to maximize efficiency on how to get to the 100 platinums, because that was like my main goal, like I said. So I was just getting a bunch of Japanese visual novels, bam, banging them out, no time. Infamous Second Son. I think the Infamous games are really fun. I have not played the Infamous games on PS3 yet, but I do plan to. Infamous Second Son was really fun because you could go down the evil route or the good route, and then that determined what ending you got, and you could decide what you wanted to do with like the main bad guy or whatever. Good progression. Thought it had some really good music in it too. It's genuinely just a fun game. Easy trophies, no missable trophies. Just beat the game on expert and do everything. Metal Gear Solid 3, one of the best games of all time. Great music, everything. I don't really have to make my statement on these games. Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3. Senran Kagura is like Coomer bait, like a bunch of girls in bikinis, like really weird stuff. This is like the first Vita game I had ever played that wasn't the HD collection, so this is technically my first Vita game I ever played. I'll maybe get back to it at some point, but the game's just weird. Watch Dogs 2, it was fun, hipster as fuck, weird hacker shit. The story was kind of mediocre. There was some really terrible plot points and characters. Gameplay was fun though, really fun co-op. Modern Warfare Remastered, same kind of deal with Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, except I just never got around to finishing it. Red Dead Redemption 2, played this game online with my friends. Never finished the story, but I generally know how it goes. Really good game. Didn't want to finish it. Didn't want to get the platinum. Never going to go for it. Apex Legends. Hate. I fucking hate battle royales. Never finished in this game. Plague Inc. I didn't even mean to get trophies on this. Never getting that. I did remember playing this on my iPad and my iPhone. My iPod, not iPhone. It is a fun game though. Takes a lot of strategy, and you can have a lot of custom mutations and stuff like that to make it fun. Black Ops 4, terrible Call of Duty, enough said. Far Cry 5, just played this with my friend. Maybe I'll get back to it at some point. Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. This game is not hard, but my one gripe with this game is that it's a Sword Art Online game with really limited online features, so you can't go through the main story with a friend. The co-op fucking sucked. Other than that, mediocre game in general. It's like 4 out of 10. Battlefront 2, I played it with my friend. It's like the same deal, and you can kind of tell at this point all my trophy percentages are pretty low. That's because I wasn't going for trophies at this point on this account, but then slowly I, obviously wanted to get more trophies. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about Battlefront 2. It was fun, but I'll never get this platinum, ever. Never doing it. Friday the 13th, this game takes like, I think there's a trophy. You got to play 1,000 matches as a counselor, and then 1,000 matches as Jason. It's just one of the most grindy trophy lists of all time, literally. Ark Survival Evolved. This game, not a hard platinum at all. You can literally cheat it if you really want to, but never got around to playing it. Don't have the game anymore, and yeah, that's about it. So, a lot of talking, a lot of trophies I've earned over the years. I would definitely say it's worth it. It was nice to come through, talk about my trophy list again. I will say, I think everyone should at least consider going for trophies, right? Like, maybe just platinum a game you really, really love. You don't gotta go for, like, 100% on every game like I tend to do nowadays. You can just have fun, chill, just go for the 100%, man. It's fun. But yeah. Oh, one thing I would like to show is, since I got the Final Fantasy VIII background, and I genuinely like the Final Fantasy VIII game, I'd like to show this Final Fantasy VIII copy I got from eBay. I would like to at some point to do like a full collection showcase like I did with the trophies, but just haven't got really around to it. Beautiful game, beautiful case. Like I said, I definitely recommend playing this game. This game is insanely fun, great story, loved it. But yeah, other than that, that's about all I have to say about the trophy discussion, game discussion. Blitzed through like 100+ games, so my throat is kind of like shot, but had fun talking about the trophies again. So yeah, this is a video where it opens a lot of discussion. So if you have any trophies that you've gotten, like gave up on, or just anything like that, gave up on, loved going for, or just any trophy stories you have, I would love to hear it. So please put it in the comments. I'd love to read it. I'll respond to every single comment. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. I hope this video was fun, informative. Maybe you found like a new game you want to play from it. But not going to take any more of your time. If you're Gogeta, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.